Okay, you all, I will be sharing with you sandwiching my quilt together. This is the one that I want to work on this summer. And this quilt is a 9-patch done by Larry's grandmother. According to his sister, this is 60 plus years old. So this will be the third generation to get it done. So I have the quilt top upside down on my table. The next thing that I want to add is my white batting. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Sometimes you can already find the warm and natural in a king, queen, or a crib size, but I wanted the white and I couldn't find the white prepackaged. So I went to Hobby Lobby and they had this white warm and natural batting for $14.99 a yard. So I got 2 yards. So that's $30 just for my batting, which I'm okay with. I don't know if they run a sale at Hobby Lobby on that. I know they do on their fabric, but I'm not sure if they run a sale on the batting. So this came off of the big roll because I wanted to make sure that it was white. Now, while sandwiching my quilt together, since I'm not going to get down on the floor because I have a bad knee, I'm going to try to put this together on my dining room tabletop. So I will try to give just a little bit of the batting over the fabric because as you stitch it, it tends to shrink a little bit and disappear. So you want all of that extra hanging over your quilt. You want that extra on the sides. And I will straighten this and straighten this some more, and then I will put 4 pins in it. I will then turn it back over with the right side up. And once I get it straightened and I look at how far my batting is on the sides of my quilt, making sure that I have plenty on the side, then I will pin it again. And I will pin it on all 4 sides. And then I will flip it back over. And once I flip that back over, then I want my back to my quilt. Now, I have a cotton sheet that I thrifted from Goodwill, and that is going to be my backing. Now, you can do many different things on the back of your quilt. Now, once I have all of this sandwiched together, then I will put some of the pins, the quilting pins, throughout the quilt. But I do want to make sure that I smooth this out really, really good as well as I can because it will go on my quilt frame. The quilt frame that I use is a Dritz quilt frame. And if you're interested in some of the items that I use, I do have a sewing section over on my Amazon.com storefront, and all that's always linked in the description box. Also, these are the pins that I will be using. They're a quilt pin, they're curved, and I will put them throughout the quilt. And once I put it on the frame, I'll start removing these as I need to sew around them. So you're going to see me switching again, back over, and then back to the other side, and just continuing to get this quilt sandwiched together and smoothed out as much as I can. Okay guys, I know it's a process of turning it over and over and over to make sure that I have plenty extra on the edges, because as you quilt it, it tends to draw up, and you could lose a little bit of that batting and the backing. So I'm gonna wait and trim it when I get it stitched up. That's a queen size top sheet that went on there. So it is a pretty good size quilt. This may have to go on my quilting frame, but I'm still wanting to work on it for the summer. It's just got all the bright summer colors. I'm gonna work on that, and when I get this quilt done, I will let you know. Okay, now every once in a while I'll take my quilt off of my frame, and I love to look at the back. I wanted this to look like a lattice stitch, so I hope that I have achieved that, and I start from the middle and work my way out. And I still have quilting pins all the way around the edges, and here it is turned over, and you can see what I do have stitched and what I've got left to do. Everyone, what do you think about my 60-year-old quilt? I am finally working on that, and I'm happy about that. Would you guys be interested in learning how to make these gorgeous fabric flowers that I put in my vase for the holiday? Well, stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how to make those. I have cut some squares in about 2 inches by 3 inches. Now you can make these any size you want. You can make them larger or smaller. And we know that we want 6 flower petals. So I have 12 pieces of fabric, and then I cut them again because I want to make this smaller. Okay, I've got these sandwiched together, face to face, and I'm just gonna sew this up in a circular and back down the other side. Trim off your thread, and you now have your first flower petal, and I'm just going to trim around the edges a little bit just to get that extra off. You're going to turn this inside out. Don't forget to back stitch on your edges where I didn't hear it's coming unraveled. It should be okay, but so we've got one of these done, and this is what it looks like. And we want to go ahead and do the other 5. You got all 6 flower petals, and this is what they look like. Trim off any extra thread. And next, we're going to take a needle and thread, and I'm going to show you how to bring it all together. But you're going to take these, and you're just going to do a zigzag back and forth. And you're going to put them all on the same thread. We've got 3 on there so far. Last one, and I'll try to do an up close. It's just a little zigzag. Needle goes in, comes out, goes in, back and forth, just like a little zigzag stitch. And find your very first one, the end of the very first one, and you're going to pull on your thread, but you're going to run that through the very first one, and then you're just going to pull it all together. Just tighten it together. Let me bring it down so you can see what I'm doing here. Got them all laid out there. Pull on the thread. Tighten it all together where all of that is in the center. Then I'm going to go over on the other side, take my needle through, and we're just going to start pulling this together. Not too tight, but just enough to pull it all together. Just bringing them all in a little circle, and then you just want to sort of tie your thread off. So that it doesn't come unraveled. And that's just looping through several times in the same spot. Take that, cut your thread off, get you some more thread, and go pick out a couple of buttons. Now you're going to put a button here, and then you're going to put a button on the back side. Here I have a couple of buttons, but I won't be using, you could use that side if you wanted to, but I'm just going to use the wooden natural. So I'm going to bring my thread through and just start going through the button. I want to take the other button, and I found it best to use the same size button so you can use the same holes. So I want to get this side started. And now all I have to do is thread them back and forth. After you have all of that secure, just go ahead and cut your thread. And here you have your flower. Take your dowel rod. I just sort of put it up through there. I like the little sharp ends. And there you go. There you have it. And then you can just take these and place them in your flower arrangement. Let me show you what I'm talking about.